Okay, hopefully with any luck, I'm going to say I'm live, I guess. Set this up over here so I can see what's going on. I've got my coffee here. Let me switch around. See what's going on. Bam. All right, switching around. I always get an extra sip in my mustache. I'll turn that down. Okay. So yesterday I started on this piece here, and let me pull my monitor up so I can see what I'm doing. And it's an aluminum wire armature that I made, and I used just one piece of wire to make this. Let me make sure my microphone's on. Okay. Yeah, I guess everything's on. Get this up here. So I had to redo my camera because it was out of focus. I wasn't quite far enough away, so I had to set it up higher. But anyway, back to this. It's a wire, one piece of wire. I start at the head, and I twist the neck. I go down and do the hand, come back up, do the other arm, go back. I go down with the spine here, and make this bottom part of the pelvis, and I go out with the leg, come back, make one half of the hip here, go over, down, back, make the other half of the hip, and then I twirl up the rib cage, come up to the top here, twirl up the head, and end at the very top there. And I have a video on my channel. You check that out, how to make a wire armature, and it describes how I make one of these, but I actually wrap it up twice, like this guy here. You can see he's double wrapped. This is an incense stick holder, and he has some precious, like turquoise and some quartz, and he has an opal up here in his head, and he has a little tray here, and you can light this if you have a porch or whatever. But I like that. So back to this sculpture. So I've taken pine cone petals here, and I have a pine cone from which I have removed a number of the petals using just some pliers. And when I pull these off, you can't hear because my mic's trying to pick up everything. But you just tear those off like that, and take some scissors. I wouldn't recommend you use any good scissors for this. These are just cheap dollar scissors. And you just keep doing that until you get a number of these pine cone petals here. And got some hot glue ready. Stuck to this cardboard. That lets you know it's ready. This gun has seen some life, let me tell you. It's got all kinds of stuff on here. Now it has a pine seed added to it. It's got, yeah, it's seen a lot of life. So I'm going to do the legs now. In this demonstration, I have some different pine cone petals here from a different one. I'm not sure that I have enough of these petals here, so if you'll indulge me, I'll cut up some of these and talk to you all about whatever it is you want to talk about, or just whatever I want to talk about, I guess, is probably the truer statement. Last night I was going to do a video, but I got into making my graphics that you can see. You can see here, Mr. Ed Makes Live. Put that back down there. I did that graphic. I did it a PNG transparency so that you kind of see through the scissors and the glue spill there. And I also have one for, here I can show you while I'm doing this. I have one for Mr. Ed Draws. This is my dry erase. And then I have one for Mr. Ed Draws, which is like sketching, pencil sketching, what have you. But yeah, that's some of the stuff I've been working on. And I wanted to kind of show them off in this live feed. And I'm working with XSplit, which is a free download. If you do live streaming on YouTube, there's an option they give you a link to that software provider, and it's free, and then you can buy upgrades or whatever, but mine's not upgraded, so the stuff I'm able to do is pretty much available to anybody for free. You just got to figure it out, which took me a little while. So I was playing with that last night too. I should have been finishing up this sculpture. I wasn't in a hurry to jump on this pine cone because it has these really, really harsh thorns here, and I've already poked myself several times with it. Good thing I'm a sculptor, so my hands are pretty sturdy, but still, it's unpleasant. So look for a pine cone that's got similar petals. I may have to go down the street and pick up. Okay, this one's pretty good. I might be able to snap those off. It's pretty dry around here, and this one's been inside for a while. Ouch, damn it. This one's been inside for a while. I'm sorry if I swear. You cuss like a tinker. You'd cuss too if you stuck one of those thorns in you. I'll tell you what, you feel that sucker. I don't want to break one of those off, because that could... I'll have to break out the tweezers and X-Acto knife and some iodine. I'm not trying to do surgery on myself. Okay, I don't want to make a huge mess. I should try to keep this debris separate from the pine cone's petals that I've trimmed off. Yeah, I got really excited about this project. I was heading to bed, and when I drift off to sleep, I usually, instead of counting sheep, I try to think of ideas for art for the next day and combine whatever I've seen that day. Maybe something will inspire me. Well, there was lots of pine cones that have fallen off the trees, and the squirrels haven't gotten to them yet. And it kind of inspired me to make a wire guy with pine cone petals. I might maybe grab some pine needles and make some pine needle hair. I think maybe that would be neat. But I've been sculpting with botanicals for quite a while. I used them I started making fairy houses about 15 years ago. A friend of mine loved fairies, and it was her birthday, and I wanted to sculpt a fairy house for her. I thought it'd be a really nice gift, and it was a really nice gift. I tell you, that project was so fun. I loved it, but they took a really long time, but the end results were really awesome. You can have so much fun playing with those. So I started doing those kind of full time. I made quite a few and gave them out as gifts. But they use natural botanicals, and when I go to like the potpourri section and look at the bags of potpourri that have different kinds of like sticks and what have you in there, seed pods, I just kind of lose my mind a little bit, because I can see all the potential. I see like window shades and shingles. I see pieces that go in a yard. I hope you can hear what I'm saying. Just tearing these out. I think that's enough for now. Cut those off. They come off pretty easy with a cheap pair of scissors. So if they're really old, if your pine cones are really old, or if they got mold or anything on them, they'll split. You probably don't want to mess around with them if they have mold. But they usually last pretty long. We have some giant pine cones out here. If I had one that wasn't so dusty, I would show you, but I'd be appalled for you to see how dusty it is. I need to clean it off, but it's so delicate. The petals just fall right off of it. Once they get old, they just disintegrate, which is good because they're so huge. They sequester a lot of carbon and nutrients that would otherwise be leached out of the soil, so it goes back in. So I got a number of these now, and on the forearms here I've placed 4, and the back arms I've placed 3, and then the shoulders got 2, I think. Yes, and that's in proportion to how this is. So I know on this sculpture the forearm and the upper leg are about the same length. So I know I'm going to take 4 of these petals to that leg in order for the dimensions to look right. So let's see how that goes. That leg, even though it's turned in a little bit, if you follow the wires, it's actually kind of upright. So I'm going to follow that line. I need to give up on that paper. Is that one too big? 2, 3. I got to leave enough space for 4 of these. 2, 3. Try not to burn the crud out of myself. I'd be glad I said crud. Alright, I kind of space those out while that glue is warm. Now, there we go. Alright. Ouch! Oh, man. It's like doing diabetes test. Okay. Now this other upper leg, I'm going to have to hold this one and try not to burn myself. It seems like I always run out of glue at an important part. It just could be a matter of perception, but I definitely feel like there's something to that. You can get those extra long glue sticks that are like 3 feet long or whatever. I know that's kind of hyperbolic, but they're long, and I feel like it would have all kinds of stick getting in the way then. I'll find some that are sort of the same size. Yeah, I need to have another cup of coffee, I think. I'm being sarcastic. I'm shaking like you wouldn't believe for some reason. Look at me, I'm like... I'd be lucky if I don't stick that hot glue gun in my eyeball by the time I'm done. Alright, bless you. That's the guy upstairs. Could hear him all the way through the floor. Okay, so I've got 4 of those. Take all these little stringies. I'm like OCD. I got to get all of those off. It drives me nuts. And then I got to get them in the trash can before they get all over the place. Alright, and push my mustache back and take a drink of this coffee. Oh, that was delicious. It's like candy. Alright. So if I got 4 up here, I'm probably going to need 5 down here at least. Oh, I probably shouldn't put that much glue on there to begin with. I'll go fast. Let's work fast. Ouch. You know, when you try to do something in a hurry, it takes you twice as long. I found that to be really true. I put too much glue on there to begin with. It's going to cool off before I'm able to work with it, so I'll just heat it back up. There we go. A little dab. So I got 3, 4, 1 more. Right. That works really good. I like that. Kind of fits underneath that kneecap. Got all these strings hanging off now. Check that out. Isn't that neat? Okay, I like that. So now the next part is 5 more. So let me pick out 5 that are going to fit on there nicely. I like that, that. And I'm going to use that one or 5. Okay. So let's not make the same mistake. I'll put a little bit on, grab one, stick him to him, put a little bit on the back of that to hold the next one down. Glue on the wire, glue on the back of there. And descriptive audio for the hearing impaired, or the visually impaired, I guess. The hearing impaired. Cool. Right. And then kind of a little one up there. Nice. Let that guy dry out a little bit, or dry out. I'm so old school. I was probably 11 or 12 years old when I was first introduced to a hot glue gun. And oh my God, my head just exploded. I was like, oh, the stuff that I can do with this. Oh my God. This is the greatest thing on earth. And that hasn't stopped. That feeling really hasn't stopped. The first thing I run to in my head when I'm putting things together is hot glue. And then just as a material, since I'm a sculptor, hot glue is kind of an interesting material to sculpt with. I've taken one of these wire guys, wrapped them in saran wrap, and then I took the saran wrap and kind of melted it and sealed it with like 2 packages of hot glue, just for hours, just putting this hot glue on there. And then once it dried, I took a knife and cut the plastic wrap away and then peeled that off. And then I had like a skin of one of these. It was really cool. I got that idea from another artist. I can't claim it as my own. But, you know, artists are thieves. I mean, we're inspired by others. Oh, okay, so I'm not sure where I need to attack this next problem. Is probably just start on the underside of this now so that it's kind of encased a little bit, is what I'm envisioning. And okay, I'm not sure how to do that joint, but I do know how to start this, so let's do that. Put a little down there. I'm going to try to be more deliberate about this and more patient. Let it set a little bit before I start with the next one, so things kind of match up nice. That looks good. I'm like, I don't know how I'm even doing this. I guess there's some hope if I ever get some like neurological disorder where I shake all over the damn place. I know at least I'll still be able to do art. Just exploit it. I'll draw seismographs. Okay, look at that forearm. That's got some heft to it. It looks all interesting in there. Check that bad boy out. I like that. It's really cool. So, I only have 3 tiny little petals left, so I need to try and get some more petals off this pine cone. Take your aggressions out and be like, yeah, I'll take that. He's like, no, you are. That's my pastrami sandwich. Just whatever. I'm so glad you tuned in to watch me destroy this pine cone. Just need to borrow some of these petals and trim some of them off. Try to do that really fast. If it was just me doing this, I'd be taking my time, singing to some Red Hot Chili Peppers like it's America's Got Talent. But I'm not going to sing. I'm not even going to hum the theme to the Smurfs. I won't even do that. Tempted. Oh, see, I almost started. Had to stop myself. My brain immediately goes to music. That's its idle place. And I'm not thinking about anything else in the world. I got music in my head. I don't really listen to a lot of music because it interferes with the music I have playing in my head already. But sometimes I want to get away from that. I'm trying to think of Rock and Roll Band by Boston has just been going into my head for, I don't know what happened, where I heard it at. but it's there. It's stuck. So I got to get that out of my head. I've listened to it like 3 times hoping that would end it, and it's just only made it worse. So we'll see how that goes. Now I'm singing it again. Drives me nuts. Think about this stuff now. I know that one's kind of small. Can you guys see what's happening? I hope so. Hope I'm not wasting your time here. I put this under entertainment. It's probably a mistake. Oh, I hope that stays. I don't think it's going to. Oh, I heard something go pop. Did you hear that? That's not good. So I got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I need one more, tiny one. I just throw it down. Okay, that will work. I think I gotta take that end off though. Let's just do this. Make life easy. I'm all. Got my fingers up. Okay. There we go. Nice. And I've got like a spider web over here. It's crazy. You should see after I do I'll do a fairy house, and it'll have, it might have 1,000 shingles on it. And I call these shingles. So I'll have to cut up, maybe a dozen pine cones, and then glue all these one by one, like you would shingle an actual house. And so much time and expertise goes into it. And when people see them, they're just delighted. They're like, oh my God, how long did that take? I'm like, longer than you could afford to pay me for. I promise. So I usually give them away as gifts because they're really hard to sell. And people can't pay $300 for something they'd be scared to dust because it just looks so delicate. And sometimes they are really delicate. I gave one as a gift, and that the woman's son made a glass case to put it in, so she didn't have to dust it. And I thought that was really thoughtful and quite a tribute, that they love that work of art so much. And it really is. It really was awesome. It's a beautiful fairy house. So what did I have up there? 3? Okay. I should be able to fit a bigger one. There. I have some tweezers. I could probably make my life a little easier, maybe. Instead of trying to use my big Sasquatch paws. I'm 6'3.5". I'm like a really, really tall guy, and not really, really tall, but well taller than average. And I have giant hands. They're big maws. And sometimes they're hard to work with, but they're great for like wire and snapping sticks and doing things that require a lot of strength. Choking people out, whatever. No, I'm just playing. All right. I'm actually a really non-violent person. Very diplomatic too, which is why that's funny. When I say I'm going to choke someone out, it's like Mother Teresa saying she's going to punch someone in the face, which would be hysterical, but probably not the nicest thing to do. I don't know if you're going to heaven for that. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Put a small one up there. That's looking really neat. I started this out on Facebook Live on a place I follow there, and I had to tear up a bunch of these, and I didn't figure anybody there wanted to watch me do that. And then I never did tear them up. So if anybody's in here watching me do this, I'm sorry about it. I can't even get to those. Okay. And these are all kind of small. So let me try. Maybe the tops. That's a different color. I think I'm running out of pine cones. I didn't want to fill my. That's a different color too. I didn't want to fill my house with pine cones. I guess I'll just use these. It'll be fine. I'm surprised I haven't infested my house with like all kinds, like black widows and termites, silverfish, just whatever. I don't like using pesticides or anything like that. I don't understand the science, and I'm not trying to take anyone's word for it. So it's like, just cancel that. We're not going to use any of it. All right, so this side now. Put the big one there. Oops, wrong way. Smaller one. It's like a superhero. His superpower is sap. He'll just launch a big gob of sap at you. Gum you up for days. Have to use lighter fluid to get it off of you. That's his secret power. Okay, now the back of these legs. Okay, since I managed to use all the same pretty much pine cone there, and I'm limited, I think I'm going to have to use maybe the tops of this here, where they're kind of smaller, but it is darker. I think I can get enough of them out there where it'll be okay. Wow. I should have wore a dust mask. Can you imagine ripping 1,000 of these apart, doing this 1,000 times? My hand hurt. I had blisters. My wrist hurt. I was messed up. And that's when I was in my 30s. So we can't tear up a whole lot of these. Okay. It looks kind of cool when it's like chewed up like that. I don't know. I think it looks cool. I don't. Maybe it's the compassionate soul in me. Just has an appeal toward damaged things. It reminds me of myself. And I'll say damaged like anything really, really terrible's happened to me. I mean, there have been bad things, but, we all experience paradise lost. And if life hasn't put it on you, it's probably been a pretty boring experience. And, boring's good. Boring can be good. I'm probably proof of that, in a way. I think I'm kind of boring. Please join my live feed where I talk about how boring I am. That's sure to drive people in. No, actually, the people who talk to me, like the people I work with, maybe they're watching, I don't know, they seem to appreciate talking to me. When I quit my last job, they said they're going to miss having intelligent conversations. And I'm not sure if intelligent equals not boring. I think the jury's still out on that one. It's probably getting ready to deliver its verdict any second. love how he just sits there for me. I'm putting 1, 2, 3, 4 of these on there, right? 5. No, 4, because his leg is bent. And in order for that to happen, one of these is going to have to disappear. Because the leg is actually kind of shorter on one side now. Let's kind of put maybe a bigger one that goes back there a little ways. Yeah, son, just like that. Like it. Okay. Pretty cool. I may have to move this camera up just a little bit so I feel like you guys can't see anything. So now this side. It looks like he's getting an exam. The worst kind. Ow! Hot. Burning. Yeah, I wasn't sure if anyone would be... They're probably doing something today, like their own live feeds. But I have artist friends, and I was kind of hoping someone would pop in and say hello. I think I need to put a bigger gob there. Like that. That is pretty gnarly. Okay, that's all I really wanted to do with you guys in this live feed. I don't want to keep them really long. I think I've been in here for I don't know how long now. 33 minutes. That's a good live feed. I am going to continue working on this. Oh, you know what? I still have. I can still do this. I can do this. I got time. I'm going to do the other side of the arms here. I thought I was going to have to get some more pine cones, to be honest. We'll keep it real. I had to get some more petals so I can do the back and the chest, the pelvis area. So I hope you'll stick around for, subscribe if you haven't. Click the notifications bell, and I'll let you know when I'm going to do the pelvis on this. That sounded bad just now. I didn't realize that. Okay. I'm going to work on this sculpture some more. How about I just say that and just leave the word pelvis out of it entirely? I'll probably get restricted now because I used the word pelvis. And the small one there, I think will be okay. Yes. Perfecto. You know what I think I can... No, I'm going to start at the bottom on this torso and work up, so I don't want to put that piece in there yet. That'll be the last one to go in. I was going to do the sternum, but if I start at the bottom and layer it like I did here, then the sternum will be one of the last pieces I do. So, if you managed to watch this video, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Think about giving me a thumbs up if you liked it, and also check out my channel. I describe how to make my wire guy, and you can find more art and videos on my Facebook page. So until next time, I'm not sure if I'm going to finish this on another live feed, so you could probably find it on Facebook if I do another one on this. But I hope to do some more Mr. Ed Draws and Mr. Ed Draws It and Erases It, so stick around for those. I mean, be on the lookout. I don't mean just continue to look at your screen. You've got stuff to do, right? Anyway, love you guys. I will see you later.